Hey there, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another review, this time of the sequel, Jaws 2. Came out in 1978, and it didn't make as much money as the first one, but still made like $100 million, so it's still a very huge hit. And it has that famous tagline, just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water. Now, Jaws 2, there's no way it's going to be as good as the first one, because like I said before, it's capturing lightning in a bottle. It's very hard to do that more than once. Now, originally this film was directed by a guy named John Hancock, I believe, but then he had different opinions with the producers. So he got fired, let go, and they got this guy, Jeannot Szwarc, Jeannot Szwarc. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. But he had directed a film called Bud, which I didn't mind. It was a little creature feature Bud movie where little buds will set itself on fire and kill people. It's a pretty decent flick from the 70s. I think it actually opened the same time as the first Jaws movie. And I believe this is the same guy that go on to direct Supergirl. I could be wrong, but I believe it is. And I definitely think it's his best movie. And Jaws 2, I like the sequel. A lot of people hate it, but I like it. Again, it's not as good as the first one. I do feel, even though this is a shorter film, it has a bit of pacing problems. And I think that's because the teenagers, the kids, are not as engaging or interesting of characters compared to the first film. Because the first film, you have Roy Scheider, Richard Dreyfuss, Robert Shaw. And the last 40, 50 minutes are those three guys bonding with each other, fighting with each other, uh, helping each other, trap this shark, stop this shark. These teens are not as engaging. They're not as strong as the characters in the first movie. So, that hurts the film, but it's still it's a pretty decent flick. The shark, I know people make fun of the look of the shark. I think it looks fine, just like it did in the first movie. I would prefer this over CGI sharks that you get nowadays, like in fucking Sharknado 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or how fucking many of them were. The plot, it's of course a couple years later. There's some photographers down at the Orca, the ship in the first movie that's at the bottom of the ocean, and they're taking pictures, photographs, and they get attacked. And pretty much things go apeshit. People get attacked, it chases a water skier, and then this, the dumbest woman ever, pours fucking gasoline on herself, accidentally granted, and accidentally shoots the boat with a flare, blows herself up. But that's done to give the shark this burned, scarred look. And then the film, in a little bit, has a slasher film quality to it. Because, it's a burned figure like Freddy Krueger, and it starts, hunting the kids. So a little bit of a slasher quality, although it's still a PG movie. And I know some people got mad because you saw more of the shark, but I don't think you could have done the slow burn of the first movie. So I understand why the director went that route. And this movie does have a lot of good elements. John Williams comes back to the score. I don't think it's as good of a score as the first film, but I still think it's a pretty decent score. He didn't just copy and paste the first score. He had different pieces of music in there, which was nice to listen to. Roy Scheider, which I know he hated working on this movie. He did not want to be in this film at all, but something to do with a contract. He had to do it. So he did the film under protest, but I will say this, he did not phone in his performance. I think he gave a very solid performance, and I think he was the best character, and his character was honestly the smartest guy in the movie, because he's the one guy who's like, all this crazy shit's going on, these photographers are missing, this boat blew up, there's this dead orca on the beach. Yeah, maybe there's a fucking great white shark out there and no one believes him, and he's like, hey, I've been through that before. I don't intend to go through that hell again. He does a really good job. And he has a lot of reason to believe it. And again, he comes off as the smartest guy. I mean, there's a moment where a dead body pops out of the water and hits him, and like all this evidence and no one wants to believe him, which is like, really? Can't you give this guy like a little bit of lenience? You know, you guys didn't think there'd be a shark before, you didn't listen to him, and these guys fucked up. Can't you, like, unless he's been doing this every week since the first movie, like, give him some fucking leniency? Come on. So there's some plot issues, like, would they really not believe in Roy Scheider for a second time? The teenagers are not that strong of characters. I mean, the only one I recognize is Keith Gordon, and that's because he's the guy who would later be in Back to School with Rodney Dangerfield and Christine. But like, the teenagers are not that strong. But there's some good direction by the. I think the director has some nice visual shots, like when the shark is coming from under the water, POV, and then you see it rise out of the water and looking behind the water steer. There's a sequence where it carries someone and drives them towards this boat, and it's done all in one shot. I like that. Certain POV shots of the shark. And that scene I was talking about previously where it drives this guy to this boat where this woman's at, and the guy actually grabs, and then it's pulled hard so down a piece of the boat rips off. Details like that I enjoy. Roy Scheider, his character has a little bit of paranoia, but it's justified paranoia. There's a moment where, just to be safe, he thinks a shark's coming. He tells people to get out of the water. He's firing at the shore. He's firing at the ocean, I should say. And I understand. I understand perfectly his point of view. And he's still a very likable character, very strong character in the movie. Again, sadly, he doesn't have Richard Dreyfuss and Robert Shaw type of characters around him. He has Lorraine Gary, who's okay. He has the deputy guy, who I thought he's an awful actor. Like, he's all right in the first one, but here, the guy who plays the deputy to Roy Scheider's sheriff, he's fucking awful. Like, he is awful. I know the director in the making of mentioned how the original director didn't want him on the film, and then this director's like, hey, I want him, I like that guy. I'm like, I just see why the original director didn't want this guy in the film, because I think he's the worst actor in the movie, the deputy guy. Deputy Dog, Deputy, whatever the hell his name was. It's just like very almost ham-fisted, like delivery, like, well, how long we gotta be here? I don't know, just when they see the dead orca, they're taking measurements of these bite wounds or these wounds that could be bite wounds, and the deputy's like, you know, I can't hear you if you're whispering. I'm like, Jesus, this guy fucking sucks. I don't think he was that awful in the first movie, but here it's like maybe years he got worse. I don't know. So yeah, there are problems with the film, but Roy Scheider leads it. Good, competent score. The fun shark attacks, like the water skiing sequence, the the when the two on the boat and the boat gets hit and the guy grabbed, pulled towards the boat. The finale where it takes down a fucking helicopter, which I'm like, fuck, that new film The Maid, even that shark didn't take down a fucking helicopter, but this shark did. So this shark's a little bit of a badass. It took down an entire fucking helicopter. And I thought it was pretty well done. It was all done for practical, for real. And I thought it was done fairly well. It's a real helicopter. I don't know if they used a model. It looked like a real helicopter. Pulled down, and the propellers hit the water, and chunks of it fly and hit the kids' sails on their sailboats. I thought that was a very effective scene. And also the way Roy Scheider kills the shark, I thought was really cool and original, by using these power cables that are out in the ocean, and one's been raised up, and he holds it open wide, makes the shark bite it and fries the fucker. And I'm like, that's a pretty cool way to kill the shark. And for 1978, I think the effects are fine for 1978. So And again, the director has some really good looking shots. Like another one where the kids are out in the ocean, they're being attacked, and they're trying to pull, I think it's one of Roy Scheider's sons out of the water, and the shark is coming, and as they pull him out, the shark rams beside the boat with his mouth wide open, and a nice one shot where like the boat, it comes across and his mouth's open like towards camera and then keeps going. I thought that's a pretty good looking shot. Pretty cool shot. So I'm gonna repeat myself. Although the pacing has issues because the characters are not as strong as engaging, especially compared to the first movie. The plot, would they really be hesitant to not believe Chief Brody a second time? Some of the acting, mainly that deputy guy, was pretty awful. It doesn't have the same magic of the first one. It still has some competently done shots by the director, some good visual shots where the camera's gliding over the ocean, or some shots of the shark, or how certain set pieces they staged, like the helicopter being taken down, they were fun. I think Roy Scheider once again nails the role. He's a big plus for the movie. John Williams, although I think the first score is better, is still a very competent musical score. The teenagers, it's not like they were unlikable and so annoying that I wanted them to die. Well, one or two of them, because the ladies kept screaming bloody murder, and I wanted them to shut the fuck up. But like for the most part, they're not like the worst group of kids. It's just you don't really give much of sense of any of them to give a shit. But with that said, I like sort of the idea of the shark having this burned face, and it goes a little bit like a slasher film territory. I like that idea. I like the look of the shark with the burned face. I thought that was pretty cool. Like I said, the death of the shark by electrocution is not typical in a good way, because usually we've seen a shark get blown up, but getting fried, that's pretty cool, pretty original. I like that. Overall, I do think this is a decent sequel. I don't think it's that bad of a movie. And this, surprisingly enough, had a good amount of features. Chief Gordon talked about his experience making the film, and then you have like a, I don't know, like 30, 40-minute making of with Carl Gottlieb, who helped write the film, with the director, with some of the producers, Richard D. Zanuck. Deleted scenes, production photographs, trailers, John Williams, the music of Jaws 2. Again, good amount of features, I will say. Which I don't know if they're on the Blu-ray. So, again, I'm not sure. If not, then you can only pick up on the DVD. I don't know why they use this cover. It's a very lazy cover. I like the cover of Jaws 2, where it's behind the water skier. Like the water skier's out in front, there's the shark. Much better cover than this. Like this, you could put this for any Jaws movie. Like, if I did this, would you know what Jaws? Well, I guess without the tagline, like it could be any Jaws film. So very lazy cover, but decent movie. Jaws 2, I like it. So thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye bye.